What's up, guys? Welcome to The Push.
I'm Ryan.
I'm River.
And we are b.creativ.
Today, we are going to be talking about number 4 in our series of sustainable business fails that are killing your business.
Not giving your employees the tools to live more sustainably. This one's pretty cool because the impact you can have by doing this, by giving tools to your employees to be more sustainable at home, can expand your sustainable impact exponentially. You have sustainable customers that are excited about the products and services that you're offering. You're helping the world by making those products and services available to them so they don't have to buy the garbage alternatives to those good products. But a lot of times, the impact you can have on your employees and then the ripple effects of that goes overlooked. So we're going to get into this today of how you can take a little bit of focus not away from your customers, but include your employees in your focus of your sustainable reach of your business.
Something that comes up immediately for me when you say this is, do companies really have a responsibility to provide their employees sustainable initiatives and tools for them to become more sustainable?
Well, a sustainable business's mission and vision includes having a sustainable impact on the world. So if that's your mission and your vision, then of course it's your responsibility to give the tools to your employees that can increase sustainability in their lives. Also within the values of a company is to align the incentives of the employee with the business so that everyone can work together to make that business grow. And when you give your employees these tools, they feel invested in. You're investing in your employees in their home life, and they joined your company to assist with the great things that you're doing. The reason that they work for your business is because you have a mission that they are passionate about and that they agree with. So when you take an interest and specific care into giving them the tools that they can take the values that they're passionate about and implement them in their own lives at home, they will love you for it. And they'll really see how aligned the business is with them, with their personal lives, with their own values. And that just brings them closer to the business, closer to the goals of the business, and closer towards having an impact on sustainability as a whole.
So kind of what you're saying is that businesses, in fact, do have a responsibility to create a sustainable ecosystem. And the best way to do this is to engage their employees and give them more tools for them to become more sustainable. And then that expands ever outwardly to everyone else that they touch, whether it be customers or friends and family of that nature.
Think about it. You have a few touch points a week, if you're lucky, with your customers. But you have countless touch points every day with your employees. So the ability for you to have that impact with those employees throughout the day, it's far greater than the actual impact that you can have on those customers. And each employee is a brand ambassador for you, especially so for a sustainable business. Everyone that they know, their family and friends, know that they work for your business. And when they are employing sustainable practices that they learned from you in their home life and talking to their friends and family about that, not only does it increase the sustainability practices that you've given them and make them spider out into the world, but it also allows them to brag on your company to their friends and family about where they learned those practices, and it brings out that pride in the activities that they're doing at home, but also in the fact that they work for a company that has encouraged them and given them the tools to live better at home.
So we're talking about tools, right? Sustainable tools that as a business owner you can provide, but what exactly are these tools? What does it look like? I'm a sustainable business owner. We have sustainable business owners watching this and listening to this podcast. If I were to ask you as a business owner, hey, what can I do to do this? How can I provide tools? How do I create them? What do they look like? What am I actually going to give them that's going to have this grand effect?
Sure, we want to make this tangible. So the main tool that I want to bring kind of to the table today is a sustainable employee handbook. You can take the practices that you're using at home and package them in your sustainable employee handbook that you give to every one of your employees, and give them the tools, deliver those tools to them in how-tos, directionals, with photos of your own home setups of exactly how to take certain home life activities and make them more sustainable. So a few examples. You can show them your recycling and composting setup at home. Teach them how to separate plastic. Teach them what is compostable and what is not compostable. Did you know you can't compost lemon peels and citrus peels? I didn't know that until a couple months ago. There's a lot of people who are composting at home that maybe they don't know those little things. You can include low-cost, vegan, plant-based recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with pictures of how delicious the end product looks to encourage them to trying those recipes out. If they maybe aren't vegan at home, you can entice them with some sweet pictures. You can include ways to cut down on water usage. You can include sustainable products to purchase as alternatives to some of the things they're already purchasing. So like sustainable toothpastes and shampoos and deodorants and all of those type of things. So essentially, I'm sure as a sustainable business owner, you're taking all kinds of different practices and you're passionate about all kinds of different ways of living to be in union with the earth a bit more, at least. So take the things you're already doing, talk to your friends who are role models in the sustainability field, see what they're doing at home. We can all do a little research. We can always do more research, and put those together in a deliverable that you can hand to your employees. Now, an employee handbook is really great in the fact that it's really great to institute these ideas and principles with a new hire. So they understand what the culture is around sustainability all around, around the employees that they hire in home life and in the office, at the restaurant, etc. And it really allows you to show them that you care about them and you care about sustainability, and a new hire will be really excited to get that information from you. But you can also, and this is another tool that you can give your employees, is have more one-on-ones. Have a one-on-one with them once a month. And once you put this handbook together in the next one-on-one, introduce your current employees to this employee handbook. Get ideas from them in the following one-on-one on what maybe is missing in the employee handbook. It doesn't have to be perfect when you first put it together. Just start it. You can iterate, you can add, you can add more content and version 2, version 3 it. I'm sure your employees are going to come back to you with suggestions, and that's exactly what you want. The best employee isn't an employee that just goes about their business and does the tasks that you give them, but they are ones who see how you can improve your business and share that with you. And we know none of you business owners have an ego problem out there, so you'll totally be super willing to take in any suggestions an employee has to improve your business. But it's really important because employees are working with the business day to day. They're in the throe of it. They sometimes have more ownership and insight into a specific task of your business than you do because they handle it fully. So we should always be super aware and thankful for any kind of feedback that those employees give us. The employee handbook can be a really great tool to make your employees feel like you care about them, that you care about the home life, and that you really are looking beyond just your customer base on how your business can have an impact on the world.
So I'm a business owner. I'm listening to this podcast. You've told me some tools that I can give my employees to create this ecosystem. But I'm sitting here and now I'm measuring my time, effort, value of money. Where am I investing myself that's going to be the best for my business? And so I'm looking at this and I'm saying, wow, maybe this seems like a daunting task. I have to create a whole guide for my employees, my new hires, and get my employees involved and start fostering an internal community ecosystem around sustainability. This all sounds amazing, right? But it sounds like a commitment. And I'm not against doing it, but what I'd really like to know is what's the value? What's my return on making this investment?
Sure. Just to talk to your point of it being a daunting task. So one thing that you can do there is empower one of your go-getter employees
Or a few.
To come together. It'd be a really cool kind of community business event to kind of come together and work together to create something like this. But ask them to dedicate an hour or two a week, whatever time maybe.
Who's the vegan? Grab the vegan on the team. Who is already doing zero waste and composting? Bring them in to do part of it. Who rides their bike every single day? Let's get them to help provide something around sustainable transportation. That every team has a bunch of people. We know this. We have a bunch of people on our team, and so it's interesting, to see where everyone kind of fits into the little niches of sustainability and and it kind of shows their passions, and if I like to make easy vegan recipes, then I'm not going to have any problem because I've probably already recorded a bunch of them, and so it'll be super easy for me because I'm already giving out these recipes to other friends and families who are asking for it to just be like, oh, okay, let me organize the work that I already have and let me put that together and I can contribute it to this thing. And I think that that's a great community building exercise that relieves whatever tension would be associated with creating something like this and replaces it with I guess joy, and excitement around creating something that's going to be it's going to have value.
Sure. Building an asset for a business, for an employee that gets used into the future and from an ongoing perspective is super rewarding for an employee. Mm-hmm. Every single time you pass out that employee handbook to the new employee, those people who created it are going to feel good. It's a really cool feeling, and you can tell them, meet at the cool sustainable coffee shop down the street for 2 hours before you come in, an hour before you come in once a week, and coffee's on me, and sit down and talk about the handbook, talk about who's going to do what, and then when you meet the hour next week, maybe start writing it up together. Maybe give them an hour or two off early to go home and work on it at home. Those little freedoms really add up in the eyes of an employee, and they're still working for your business, but they get a little freedom. They get to walk home and be in their own space, and it'd be pretty cool for them to do that. Now, to your question about value. So we've already kind of touched on a few of these points. Your employees will feel like you care. They'll feel like you're taking an interest in your home and personal life, and they'll feel like you have the values that you project out into the world. You're a sustainable business owner, but you're really putting your money where your mouth is when you share things that can be done at home. You're saying that you do these things at home yourself, and you're sharing with them what they can do better, and they know you really care. Not just about sustainability, but also about them and their home life. Another impact it will have that we also have touched on is them being brand ambassadors and giving them a few more talking points to talk to customers, to talk to their friends and family about not only sustainable practices, but also about what kind of value your business has provided them in their lives. And it really also drives home credibility that your business is creating valuable change in the community and in the world.
This is an interesting point that you make in that, and we've talked about this before, is the emotional attachment that people who pursue sustainability have with the businesses that they believe in. And so you have a sustainable product, you have a sustainable business, your customers, your clients, your community, they have this deep emotional connection to you because you're doing the right thing, and you're doing right by them, which is doing right by the world. And so having this connection is unique. And so when we have this experience and we go into stores or we talk with different reps from different companies, it's always interesting to engage with a like-minded human, and to have the conversation, because we know this isn't, as the movement is growing and the world's becoming more sustainable and we're having the realization that, it's not something that we can put to the side. It is something that we need to put right in front of everyone right now. That's not to say that the movement is the number one movement yet. It's not the norm. It hasn't become the standard as it should be, and it's moving in that direction. And we're helping to facilitate that. But at this point in time is special because when we engage with those people, right, we have an extra connection to have a conversation, and I can say, like, this person's sustainable, and then this means I can have a conversation with them that maybe I wouldn't normally be able to have with my Uncle Joe, or my Aunt Sally. And this is unique, right? And so by giving them this tool and this resource, it's more conversation, more talking points, and they can bring up and say, wow, like, I've been trying this new composting technique that, the company put together for us to test out at home. And then I can say, oh, dude, I just put a composting thing in my backyard. Like, I'm super pumped on this. I'm doing like worm composting, whatever, and then you have this conversation. And now all of a sudden you've built a stronger relationship with that person because they trust your brand, because they trust your employees, because they can now share this common bond, this common engagement. And this goes to further your community.
Every single time your business's name is spoken by your employee to a friend or a family member, it's a chance for that friend or family member to become a customer in your business directly. Also, to the emotional connection point, unsustainable businesses create artificial connections with customers all the time through advertising. Sustainable businesses have a very unique opportunity to create a very natural and organic emotional connection with their customers that is very powerful. So this type of word of mouth around this positive change that you're enacting in your business to help your employees, that also helps sustainability, it can drive a lot of value. And it may be tough to quantify, but I think if you try it in your business, the results you'll see will be amazing.
And we know also, statistically speaking, that it's much more cost effective to retain clients than it is to go out and discover new ones. Maybe we heard that on HubSpot, an easy fact to look up. But that's really important. It's really important to understand the value that's created within community and how important it is to foster those relationships, because once that person's gone, especially when the emotional connection within this industry leaves, the chances of you getting it back are slim to none, which is a huge thing for any business to take into consideration.
Another point of value is the aligning of incentives. When any chance you get to align the incentives of your employees to your business, you're going to see better performance, better productivity, more happiness, more involvement in improving the business. So this is an easy win there. And there's obviously the value of increase sustainability. You're educating your employees on how to live more sustainably. That is what it's all about.
Expanding your impact.
Expanding your impact. Right.
That's the whole goal.
It's the entire goal. So don't miss out on this opportunity to become more involved in your employees' lives, to become a better boss, to become a better community member, and to ultimately become a better business.
So just to recap, sustainable business fail number 4, you're not providing your employees the resources to live more sustainably. What you need to do is provide those resources because you have a responsibility to do that. And what those tools and resources look like, as our suggestion today to you, is to get your community, get your employees involved in creating a manual, a sustainability manual that's going to help them become more sustainable and to implement more sustainable practices and to spread that word further and farther. And the value is exponential. Because you're going to be able to connect more deeply with your current customers. You're going to be able to progress forward in getting new customers, and you're going to be able to foster an ecosystem within the workplace that breeds happiness and equanimity and enjoyment, which is huge.
You'll be a leader in your community. Sustainable businesses are popping up all the time. Thank a lot. But, you need to keep your edge and you need to keep pushing. And one way to do that is to really practice what you preach. Be as sustainable as you can. Thank you for listening. My name's Ryan.
My name's River.
We are b.creativ, and this is The Push. See you next time.